All right, we'll let everything catch up. No intros. What's up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful blasphemous bastards. There it is. All right. Today's not a day for intros, and I just got StreamYard put up, and all of my intros are Raging Atheist intros anyway. And I don't even know if I like StreamYard is like way different than the last time I used it. It's been a while. So I do have StreamYard up. I will be throwing the link in the side chat. We'll see if anybody joins, if anybody even feels like talking about this. Um, what's up, Kent Hovind CPA? I just got to figure out where I find the link now. There it is. That should be the link. I'm going to pin it to the top of everything. No, I really don't expect too many folks to come in, or any really. It's Wednesday. It's the mid afternoon for most people. For me, it's actually late night, honestly. But I'm gonna try to stay up for a while. I'm gonna try to give more than enough time for people to come in. It is another tragic day in America, and this time, it's not anything we can directly lay at Trump's feet. This isn't about Donald Trump. I was actually preparing to do a stream talking about Donald Trump when this actually came across my radar. I'm surprised it took as long as it did, but I have been busy since I've got out of work. Another school shooting in Minnesota today, and a horrific school shooting involving small children. A fucking coward of a monster man shooting from outside, from windows, shooting at children. I think we can just probably get in and watch something. I only got one thing prepared, but man, I mean, the world is evil. Hopefully my mic isn't too loud. The world is evil. And maybe we'll be surprised and get some people in. And that's really all I can really think to say as I've learned a little bit more about this is the world is fucking evil, man. It's I think that's an objective fact at this point. 2 children dead. And there's a delay, so there it goes. It's actually showing different on the screen than it's showing on my screen. See, yeah, like I don't know. StreamYard seems extremely different, so I'm gonna be extremely rusty. But man, what a fucked up day, like there's so many different aspects to this, but let's check this out.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm John Dickerson. As many as 20 people are injured in a Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis. This is happening at Annunciation Church. At least 3 people are dead. One is the shooter who died by suicide. We've been watching emotional scenes of families hugging their children as they get released and are reunited. We are now going to listen into officials who are giving a briefing.
You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary.
And I'm seeing what you're saying, Kent Hovind. Right-wing social media is already claiming the shooter is trans. How do I do that? I can't remember StreamYard at all. There you are. So yeah, right-wing social media already claiming the shooter was trans. I was looking for, because on my Facebook I saw a picture of the shooter, but I'm not seeing it now. Doesn't surprise me. Right-wing always jumps to conclusions, and it doesn't matter who the shooter is. Honestly, it doesn't. Trans, hetero, that matters not at all. And shame on them, but there is no shame with the right wing nowadays. It doesn't matter if they're white, if they're black. It doesn't matter if they're man or they're woman. It doesn't matter anything. Nothing matters about them except for the fact that they should be forgotten immediately. The stain of their humanity should be forgotten immediately. Their picture should not be put up. This person, whoever it is, should not be made a hero, or not a hero, but should not be made famous by this incident. It's rare when I'm kind of at a loss for words. Didn't happen often with me. But I do we'll watch some of this, and I got a few stats to throw out there, but I don't really, I mean, there's not much more to say. I think every school shooting can be laid at the feet of the gun lobby, feet of the NRA, the feet of I was going to say Republican voters, but you can't really say that anymore, because there is definitely a strong element on the left that is pro-gun. And at this point, in this stage in our country's history that we're experiencing right now, I think it's irresponsible to call for any kind of taking away of arms. So I don't know what solution is available to us anymore. All I know is I don't really want to send my kid to school anymore. You just never know. Like, this person, I think it's pretty obvious that they weren't like a member of the school, but it's a crapshoot. It's Russian roulette sending your children to school, and it's not going to be fixed. I don't think it'll ever be fixed.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them, love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions, all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly. There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak to make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you.
I wouldn't want to be this guy right now. I wouldn't want to be any of those police officers that have to walk in there and see those little bodies torn to shreds. I wouldn't want to be anybody working in the emergency rooms in Minneapolis right now, seeing these little bodies come in torn to shreds and trying to save lives. Like how can you sit outside of any building with what I'm assuming is an assault rifle? I don't know what kind of gun was used. So I shouldn't assume it was an assault rifle because most shootings aren't assault rifles. Most shootings, I think, are handguns, or I believe they're handguns. But the way, I don't know, I got the feel that it was probably an assault rifle by the way that the sheriff was describing it, though I don't think he just says assault rifle. So I'm probably jumping to assumptions there. And I don't think people should jump to assumptions, so I probably shouldn't be jumping to assumptions. And I don't really think that the gun matters. The act matters. I mean, the gun does matter, of course, but the act is what's horrible. The fact that you can kill any person like this, but the most innocent among us. As a father who has to send a child to school every day, this is horrifying. This is I wouldn't want to be any of these parents ever. I'm facing, a different kind of death with my own child if I can't get, her different insurance probably. Thankfully, at my job, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to. Maybe. I mean, it'll probably take all of my money, but I think that my child is going to be covered if her insurance is taken from her. But if her insurance is taken from her, there's a really good chance that I'll be burying my daughter, but I wouldn't be burying parts of her. As a lot of these parents will be if it was indeed an assault rifle used. Man, what a fucking evil world we live in. And I don't think there's any other way that you can describe it. I don't think there's any really worse scenario. Well, I'm sure we can imagine plenty of worse scenarios, but this is as bad as it gets. What a fucking monster. And again, there's only 4 people watching now. This is middle of the day and I'm freshly back. I just got StreamYard going. I wasn't really planning on doing that for another week or 2, but I figured, if somebody wanted to come in and talk about this, then at least here's a place they could do so. So we'll just continue for now.
This kind of act of evil should never happen, and it happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN, O''HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the mass, a gunman approached on the outside on the side of the building and began firing a rifle through the church windows.
So he does say rifle.
The children sitting in the pews at the mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Oh wow.
This was a deliberate act of violence.
Yeah, I watched this, but I think I was just stunned and didn't catch that. Now he said rifle, he didn't say assault rifle, but I'm assuming it was probably some kind of assault rifle.
Violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified.
8 and 10 years old. 8 and 10 years old. The 2 that are dead right now. 17 more injured that we know of right now. I'm sure those numbers will change, and I'm sure those death numbers have a good chance of changing. How can you kill an 8 or 10-year-old? I mean, these are people without political ideology. These are people with at least, I mean, their religious ideology isn't completely fleshed out. They're 8 and 10 years old. These are innocent kids. Man, one of the few good things about Facebook nowadays is, when they post those old pictures and I can see pretty much every day I'll get a picture of my daughter from anywhere from 1 to 10 years old, and like how can you do that? And we talk the problem of evil, and it's not a problem of evil, it's just a fact of evil. The world is evil. Everything about this world right now is just ugly and dark and evil. Now, I'm not saying evil in any spiritual connotations, just the word for what it means. That is this entire existence right now in every facet. And unfortunately, it's expressed in another incident that's just unthinkable to any sane, rational person. God. So what's up, P-Town? Very sad, heartbreaking moment, unimaginable. Blood Badger, I saw. Let me get back over to my StreamYard. So, P-Town, I'm not sure if you're P-Mars, but what's up, P-Town? And then Blood Badger says, I saw Officer Tatum say that on a video title recently at Kent Hovind CPA. And that's just, like, how? For one, like, everybody always jumps to conclusions. It's not a right wing or a left wing thing. Like when it comes to these things, everybody always jumps to conclusion. There's this rush for information, and you're never gonna have the information you need to formulate a clear, vivid picture of events like these for probably several days at least. So I don't want to make it like, oh, just the right wing, but like, the right wing are specifically fucking horrible right now, and they've always been horrible on this issue. And I solely lay any death of anybody in these mass shootings at their feet at this point, because while had we done something, had we passed any of those bills that they refused to pass, no, that would not eliminate this shit from our society, but it would have helped, and it might have even stopped this one or several of them. So all of this is at the feet of in my opinion, the right wing, because really up until recently, the left wing has been rather anti-gun. And like I said earlier, like this is the first time I can ever remember doing one of these, and I've done several of these now. It's just, like it's been so long. Like it's like for my very first stream back, like trying to like host people and have people come in, which is probably not going to happen because I'm just coming back. I haven't streamed in over a year. Like I don't even know the point of that rambling. So let's just continue. Like I just, yeah, the right wing. It's like I lay this all at their feet, and we shouldn't be surprised that they especially are going to be rushing to assumptions. And I'm not going to be surprised at all if no matter the truth, if they don't run with that narrative. Because from the picture that I remember a long-haired man, but I only saw a brief glimpse of the picture before I started setting all of this up. And then when I just went back to Facebook, I'm not really seeing it now. So, and who knows, it's Facebook, so it might not even be the picture of the actual person, right? Again, everything, it's like this mad rush of information and everybody trying to make assumptions but I fully expect, especially considering people are already seeing this narrative being pushed out there, that is going to be the narrative no matter the truth, and they are going to be high hell bent, especially if it is like true that the shooter is a trans person. They will make that shooter the most famous shooter in the history of shooters. They will be screaming that shooter's name and showing that shooter's picture and crying their fake ass fucking crocodile tears for eternity now. But if I was going to make any assumptions at all, and I don't make any assumptions. I have no idea who did this outside of the descriptor of fucking monster. But my first assumption internally would be it's probably a right winger trying to seek a distraction for their orange god. And what a horrible fucking distraction. But that wouldn't surprise me at all if that turned out to be the case. And if that turned out to be the actual true case of what happened, I can almost guarantee they're going to run with the trans narrative. I can almost guarantee it. But I could be wrong, and nobody should be making assumptions right now. So fuck, what a fucking clusterfuck this is, man. What a fucking fuckity fuck. That's what it is.
17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church. Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized.
And I don't even know why like this is hitting my brain right now, but I should emphasize, like, I haven't used StreamYard in over a year. I haven't been streaming in over a year. I'm still figuring out my settings. I'm streaming the other way, so my mic could be like super fucking loud. I will slowly like try to get my StreamYard settings good, with playbacks and seeing how my volume's sounding. If I am too loud or too low, let me know.
By this senseless attack, we will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
Chief, what can you tell us about the suspect in this case? How old was he? Any kind of motivation? Any notes or any other information that left behind?
So we were looking, the question was, what can be said about the shooter? We believe it is one suspect, a sole shooter. We believe he is deceased. He is in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history. And we are looking through information left behind to try and determine some type of motive. Yeah.
How many kids at the school? How many kids at the school?
How many children? There were, I don't have an exact, the question was how many children at the school? There were dozens of children inside the mass at the time. I don't have an exact count. The children have been relocated into the school, which is where their families are reunifying with them.
Are there no shooter other than the weapon?
Reg.
Other than the weapon, was the shooter a student, former student? Was he a former employee? Do we know that?
The question was, do we know if the shooter was a former school employee or a former student? We don't have that information.
Did he leave anything behind other than the weapon? No.
There's a vehicle. The question was anything left behind? There's a vehicle that we believe that the suspect used that is being searched. And we will be conducting other searches related to this inside the parking lot here.
There
Yep.
was some neighbors who said that the door to the church had been barricaded.
Yep.
Is that correct?
So the question was, neighbors had said that the door to the church had been barricaded. The shooter approached on one side of the church building, and on that side, at least two doors, it appears there had been like a 2x4 placed. So not all of the doors around the building, but on the side where the shooter did fire.
And on the outside.
On the outside, yes.
You know, and what really pisses me off about this is these cowards take their own fucking lives. And I don't necessarily really have anything against suicide. It's just you just did what the fuck you did, and don't even give yourself a chance to fucking live with it. Like, I want you to sit with that. I want you to go to prison. I want you to be fucking raped. I want you to be fucking beaten. I want your life to be hell for 80 to 90 years. And in fact, if we have the technology, I want the state to prolong your life as long as that technology allows them to, just so you can continue to be raped and beaten and fucking tortured. See, like, these cowards don't deserve to just fucking end it. It infuriates me when that happens. It fucking infuriates me. We should be able to spit in your fucking face. We should be able to kick you in your balls. We should be able to fucking ram your face into the concrete and slide it back and forth as long as we fucking want to. As long as it doesn't kill you. So we can do it again later.
The question was there any explosives? There were reports of that. There were no explosives or improvised devices that we found. I do believe there was one, I guess
I'm a
you would call it
nonviolent
smoke
Taoist.
bomb, like not an
But this
explosive,
shit infuriates
but a
me,
sort of a
especially when they
firework
take
that
their
would
own
release
lives.
smoke.
Which side of the building? North, south?
The side that is closest to us here on this side. Yep.
Was there an incident related also at these nearby homes?
I don't have specific information on that I can release.
Gunshot wound, the suspect?
The question was, is he dead from a gunshot wound? The answer is yes. We believe he took his own life in the parking lot.
Was this outside or both inside that he was shooting?
The question was he shooting outside and inside? He was absolutely shooting outside of the building on the side of the church, inside through the windows. It appears he may have gone inside, but I don't believe we've located any casings inside the building. So I'm not certain if he fired also while inside. It appears, if not all, most of the shooting happened outside the building.
Is this shooting related to any other shootings that happened in the last?
I mean, too scared to even walk up in there. And you know what? Like, I don't care how many good people with guns are. I can almost guarantee those good people don't have no guns in no church. At least most of them. I remember a few years back, churches doing their thing, and I know the NIFB be doing their thing, but most churches in America, you're not going to walk up in there with a gun. Like this is like the most cowardly of cowardly acts, the softest of softest spots, and you don't even walk inside. You little bitch! Like what the fuck? It's infuriating. Like again, I'm a nonviolent Taoist. I've never believed in violence. I've never believed in. I'm strongly anti-gun. At least I used to be. I think we're probably going to need guns. So this is fucking horrific, man. I mean, if you're a parent, you know what I talk about. Like you watch this and it's in the gut, right? Like it's like this could be my kid. You know, this could be my kid so easily. It's like you can't even send your, which I mean, you should, in my opinion, it's never really been too safe to send your kids to church, but you can't send your kids to school. You can't let them go to a movie. And that was before the fucking crazy ass political era where we are in now, which is like pre-Civil War stage, right? Like I mean, pre-revolution stage, whatever, however you want to call it. Like that. I mean, that's the nature of our politics in this moment right now. I just. You feel it in your gut. You feel it in your gut, and it's horrifying to think that one day that could very easily be you. That could very easily be you, fucking at work, and you get the notice that it was your kid's school this time. So the nightmare begins, but the nightmare is going to be ongoing because you're not going to find out anytime soon about your child. So even if your child wasn't even hit, as a parent, your brain has already seen your child die inside of your brain 1,000,000 times in the most horrific fucking ways imaginable. Man, I wouldn't want to be any of these parents today. And for every parent that was a congressperson or a senator or a president that refused to move on this for all of these years, my entire fucking life, I'm 48 years old. Fucking shame on you. I hope that ulcers are tearing you from the inside out. I hope that all of that money you got for all of those votes was worth sleepless nights, ulcers, and the hatred that I have for you. And I'm not the only one.
So, yeah, Taylor's asking, is this related to any of the other shootings? This does not appear to be related to any other shooting in the city. The question was how many rounds? I would say it's in the dozens. We don't have an exact count. There's a sidewalk on the outside as well as a grassy area. So obviously we are going through and taking our time to process the scene.
Was he firing just one weapon, like the rifle?
The question was he firing one weapon? We believe he had fired all three. He had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Chief, was this individual licensed to conceal the carry? Did he have any?
Were the weapons, was he lawfully carrying the weapons? I don't have that information. And I don't have any information on any significant criminal history either.
Was he dressed at all in any actual type of gear or anything?
It appeared he had some black clothing on, his cargo type pants.
All right. So Jill, you're in the side chat. Link is in the side chat. Come on in. Like, what do you think we should do about this, Jill? What do you think we should do about this? There's a new study out that quantifies dramatic rise in school shootings and related fatalities since 1970. I'm looking at an article right now published March 6, 2024, Research News, American College of Surgeons. Key takeaways from the study was in the 53 years leading up to May of 2022, the number of school shootings annually increased more than 12 times. Children more likely to be victims. The likelihood of children being school shooting victims has increased more than fourfold, and the rate of death from school shootings has risen more than sixfold. A total of 2,056 school shooting incidents were analyzed. The incidents involved 3,083 victims, including 2,033 children ages 5 to 17 years and 1,050 adults ages 18 to 74 years. So the incidence of school shootings more than quadrupled over the past 53 years, according to the new study. To curtail the trend, blah, 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 blah. Key findings were number of school shootings annually has increased from 20 incidents in 1970 to 251 in 2021. Victims and shooters were predominantly male, 77% and 96% respectively. So 77% of victims in these school shootings are males. A whopping 96% of school shooters are males. I just did a stream yesterday of a pastor that wants to go back to reproducing extremely aggressive men. Well, I think we've got plenty of aggressive men in this country. Plenty of aggressive people in this country. Nearly 2/3 of the shooters were under the age of 17 years. So 2/3 of the shooters analyzed in this study under the age of 17 years old, never even had a chance to live a life because of a gun, because of a man with a gun. Handguns were by far the most common weapon used in the school shootings, accounting for 84%, followed by rifles, 7%, and shotguns, 4%. Rifles were the deadliest weapon with a fatality to wounded ratio of 0.45 versus 0.41 for shooters using multiple weapons. From 1970 to 2021, the rate of children being school shooting victims more than quadrupled. So it's just become this crapshoot to send your children to school now. California has the most school shootings, 214, followed by Texas, 176, Florida, 120. However, the District of Columbia had the highest rate of school shootings per 100 schools, 5.5, followed by Delaware, 5.4, and Louisiana, 4.6. This was a study conducted by trauma surgeons. They want to see something done about this. They're tired of having to put these people back together again, the ones that survive. So, Jill, do you want to come in and tell me why we, do you want to come in and tell everybody how sorry you are for promoting your stupid Second Amendment bullshit and your stupid fucking agenda? You want to come in and troll on today? Jill, would you like to do that? You can come in. You control. I don't know if you do that today, though.
I guess you could interpret that.
I don't even think
as,
I'd put that on you.
However you like.
All right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for helping us to get the information out today. We have a lot
No more
work
questions?
that needs to be done. We will return back later today to provide more details as they become available, and we'll let you know how you can know about that in a moment.
That's pretty much the end of that. So let's get rid of that. I didn't really expect to have anybody be around or want to talk today. Like I'm still obviously trying to process this. The world, I used to have so much hope for this world. Even at my worst, I think I still held hope for this world. Even at my worst drinking, when I was the raging atheist and I was, just destroying this channel every chance that I could get and just drunk off my ass and fucking raging at Smokey or raging at Matt Powell or just raging at everybody, right? Like I can't even remember what I was saying. Like I am just fucking so flabbergasted by this. Like this is like I remember feeling like this with Sandy Hook. It hits particularly harder when it's children. And unfortunately, like I think that this is just a drop in the bucket of what's to come. And I'm not sitting here saying that there's going to be a rash of school shootings. I don't think that at all. Maybe, but I think that I think a lot of blood and pain is coming for all of us, for this entire country. And this is probably just the foreshadowing of all that is to come for us. It feels like that. And that's such a fucking statement, right? Like that it's just a foreshadowing. How fucked up is that? Excuse me. my throat doing crazy stuff. I am getting over like some kind of crazy illness, some kind of bronchitis and flu merged, evolved together. So yeah, crazy stuff. This isn't helping, but better than cigarettes, right? Yeah, this is probably not the day to have my first like open room talking to people, because like if Jill did come in, you're not going to see that Taoist calm I've been talking about. Like today I'd probably lose my cool, so it's probably not a good idea. But I am glad that I have it, and I am off tomorrow. I can't stay up late tomorrow. I could stay up later today. So maybe I'll I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I have this now, so I'm definitely can like set up rooms, put them up, and give people plenty of time to know, hey, Knock is back. He's going to be doing these rooms. And I think I'm going to do it I'm going to try to keep it topic oriented when I do these rooms as much as I can. We will have open discussion rooms, but those are chaotic. And I'm not a huge fan of the Jubilee show Surrounded, but like maybe if you have a premise, or if I have a premise, that we can put out a premise and we can debate those premises. I don't know. I'm thinking of some kind of format to try to keep it conversations. Yeah, no, I'm probably just. I've been hopeless. In fact, we'll throw that up there because that's a great comment, Misty Day. I don't disagree that our country has its problems. That being said, I don't think it is hopeless. The media being in your face constantly does perpetuate hopelessness and fear, and I totally agree with that. But I have felt this hopelessness, and it's mixed up with the Trump fascism, and it's mixed up with my family being torn apart by politics and division and strife, and so many families across the country being torn up by politics and division and strife and school shootings and having to bury their children. That and I'm not hopeless to the point that I don't think that we will overcome this, because I think we will. Just hopeless to the extent that it's gonna get a lot worse before we overcome this. And I mean, this is as bad as it should be right here. And I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be the worst of it. I don't see how you stand outside of a church with a gun and blast anybody. Like, it could be a church full of grown-ass people, and to sit outside that church with a gun and shoot through windows at people that have no way to defend themselves, or to even know it's coming, or to even have really anywhere to go. Like, what kind of human beings are we producing? And it's like, this is what we know about, I think the last time I really looked into it, there was like something like over 200 serial killers roaming around America that nobody really talks about. Can't catch them. It's like internet gangs of serial killers, internet sites of cannibalism, and the fucking craziest shit that you can fucking imagine. Like, what is this world we live in today? What does this world become? And I know Christians will sit there and tell you, oh, this is all a product of secularism and we're letting people get away from God. And I would say, no, this is a product of holding populations under siege of God for so fucking long. But now I'm just talking out of my ass there because I fucking don't know. Yeah, it does seem hopeless sometimes, and you're right. We should not lose hope. We got to stand strong. Just like yesterday, I was saying, we've got to stand strong in the face of this. It does hit different though when it's children. It does. So yeah, I'm gonna stop being a Debbie Downer. Like, if I don't go to bed right away, maybe I'll start something up. I want to figure out how to like run a regular stream, and then maybe just have StreamYard in the background. And if people jump in, then I can just flip my StreamYard Studio on, and that'll be the way to use it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to go about that to where I could have streams, and then I could have people come in for streams like this when there's not really many people out there, and especially here at first, until the word gets out that I'm doing these again and that I'm sober, and I'm probably going to be a lot more fair this time than I was before because I was drunk off my ass and I would just let motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want, So, but we're going to try to do this thing better this time. I'm going to try to be a better person this time, a better interlocutor, a better representative of what I hope to be a very positive message instead of a negative one. And we will overcome. We will overcome. I do still have hope that good will overcome, that what is right will eventually find its day in the sun again, and that justice will be doled out to those that need it. So I am hopeful. It is just really hard to find that right now. So I do appreciate this comment here, Misty, because it's so important to remember that we've got to keep that. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I don't have any outros. I didn't have any intros. Like I said, I just got this StreamYard up and going again. And man, it is way more expensive than it was the last time I used this shit. Like, damn inflation. Damn inflation. That's a whole other stream right there. Is to talk about inflation and what's going on with inflation, because man, how these Republicans were so hard on Joe Biden, and crickets now. But that's for definitely another day than today. I hope the parents can find whatever peace and solace they can find, and I hope this nightmare ends for them sooner than later. I really hope people don't jump to conclusions about who this shooter is or their motivations until we have all the information. And I really hope that people don't make this shooter famous, because they shouldn't be. The only people that need to be famous from this are the children affected. and the children killed. They should be the ones. They should be the faces we see. And with that, I guess I'm going to get out of here, go see what we're going to be doing for dinner. I do want to thank those of you that did join. I am going to be doing these rooms again like I used to. Hopefully there'll be a better atmosphere for conversation. This channel is a destroyed channel. I destroyed this channel. So we might have to start a new channel. Just so people can find this place if they, because there's plenty of people out there that want to talk, and as far as I can tell, not too many places doing it anymore. So yeah, it might require a new channel, a new algorithm, because I destroyed this channel with my drinking and my rage. So we'll see how it goes. I want to thank you guys for watching. Do what we can, to get the information we need. I need to come to my own conclusions. Like I said, I don't think it's very responsible to call for gun control now. And this is the first school shooting that I think that this is the first time I can ever remember ever saying that. So yeah, what a fucked up day today is. I really hope that, law enforcement will give us the information we need to know about this. But again, I don't want this person's portrait blasted all over everywhere, because fuck them. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm gonna let this thing go for a second so it's not all weird with the cutoff on the stream, but I'm gonna try to work on some kind of intro. I don't really have the programming I need to make intros anymore, like I used to, so I don't want to use like old shit. Maybe you don't know what's going on, Smokey. Horrific school shooting, children dead. But yeah, enjoy your dinner. So y'all have a good one.